Hi, I'm Owen, and in this video I want to talk about, I guess, my journey of growing up being too embarrassed to tell people about my hobby of building scale models and kind of what I've learned from this experience. And I'm kind of hoping that this video would help anyone who is kind of feeling the same way or has felt the same way in the past to know that there are other people out there who have had the same experience or at least had similar experiences. So I'd like to take you back 10 years ago to when I was in high school. I found high school to be quite tough. I felt it was very judgmental. I felt a lot of pressure to fit in with trends, to like what was popular and to wear what was cool. And I did a shocking job of the outfits, I can tell you that. I didn't realize this at the time, but I think all of this pressure kind of led me to develop a form of social anxiety, which I'd like to touch on later. But for now, I'd like to tell you a little story about a geography trip I went on when I was 14 years old and how the outcome kind of terrified, but then surprised me and made me question some of my preconceptions. So I'm on a geography trip with my class to the Trafford Centre, which is like a big shopping arcade outside of Manchester. And we're supposed to be analysing transport or something. I don't know, geography was never really my cup of tea. But we were all looking forward to the highlight of the trip, which was an hour at the end of the day to do whatever we wanted. So I'm wandering around with my mates and they're, wanting to go into all of the cool clothes shops and stuff. But I spot a scale model shop called Model Zone and I'm really drawn to it. Reluctantly, my friends follow me in, only after checking that they're not going to get spotted by any of our classmates. But I'm already in there and I'm enthralled by all of the kits that are on display, and one big box in particular on like the top shelf really catches my eye. And it's the 1/72nd scale Revell Lancaster bomber. And I'm like, I want that kit. And I've got just about enough money to buy it as well. But my friends are getting a bit impatient. They don't want to get spotted by anyone that, we're in a scale model shop and that would be uncool. So they want to leave and they convince me to get out of there and I don't buy the Lancaster. So we carry on through the Trafford Centre going into clothes shops again and stuff, but I keep thinking about that Lancaster and it comes to 5 minutes before we've got to regroup to get back onto the bus to go back to school and I'm like, oh, screw it, I'm gonna go get that kit. So I managed to get the kit and get back to the meeting point just in time and I'm like going along and I've got my bag with the kit in with the Model Zone logo on them, but I'm like trying to hide the logo against my leg. Just I don't want like anyone to see that I've been to a scale model shop. But to my horror, as I arrive, there's a group of the popular lads who are like going around every person and asking to like see what's in their bags, what they've bought in an attempt to humiliate them, which is really just. So it was like basically anything that wasn't bought from Hollister, you were going to get humiliated for, because Hollister was what was cool back then. It was, back when the shops were so dark that you couldn't like see what you were buying. Anyway, I sneak over to my mates hoping that I'm not going to get spotted, but one of the cool kids comes over and like demands that I hand over my bag and I am cringing so hard. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be the end of me. Everyone's going to find out that I want to build scale models and everyone's going to make fun of me forever. So he takes my bag, opens it, pulls out the model kit, and you can see like a look of surprise and confusion across his face. And then he kind of looks like he's going to make a humiliating joking comment, but then he like looks at me and just goes, do you actually have the patience to build these things? And I'm like taken aback for a second because that was not at all what I was expecting. I'm just like, yeah, I guess. And he like thinks about making a joke, but then he's like, you know what? He puts the kit back in the bag, hands it over to me, and moves on to the next person to go criticize them buying clothes from River Island or Next or something like that. And I'm just left there like kind of like, what? How did I get out of that? From the way he reacted, I kind of got the sense that actually he maybe thought that building scale models was quite cool, and if he had the skills maybe he too would build scale models. It didn't quite dawn on me back then, but something I realised since is that cool things are subjective, and you've got to get outside your own head because not everyone sees things in the same way that you do. So I thought that building scale models was uncool, and I assumed that everyone else would think that too, but not everyone does. Back in the day, though, I didn't realise this, and I was still very reluctant to tell people that I built scale models. I just want to take a brief minute to talk about social anxiety, which I suffered with towards the end of high school. I didn't realise that it was social anxiety at the time, and when I went to talk to my doctor about it, he was just like, it's probably exam stress, even though I didn't have any exams at the time. But anyway, if you feel inexplicably nervous, anxious, or nauseous about social situations, go and talk to your doctor about social anxiety because there are treatments that can really help you either cope with it or overcome it. For me, I found that leaving high school and moving on to college, that was a totally new environment with totally different people, and that kind of fresh start really helped me overcome my social anxiety. But like I say, I didn't realise this until kind of recently that it was social anxiety, and I wish that I'd had someone to tell me at the time that it was social anxiety, because I think that would have helped me find the right methods to overcome it earlier, maybe. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about that. The summer before starting college was also the summer that I started Quick Hits, and my new friends at college soon found out about it, and so I ended up talking about the channel and also about scale modelling a lot more. There were still jokes made about it, but they were in good humour, and I found that I could laugh along with them as well, so that was fine. Something I realised, is the more that I talked about the hobby, the more that I spoke about it with confidence and positivity, and the more that I spoke about it with confidence and positivity, the more respect I seemed to get from the people who I was talking to about it. So I learned to be proud of what you're interested in, even if it's a bit unusual, because people will respect that confidence and positivity that you have about what you're passionate about. I think another thing that helped as well was that this YouTube channel was gaining a following and people were leaving lots of nice positive comments, and that really gave me a confidence boost. So if you were one of those people back in the day, thank you very much. I really appreciated it back then, and I still appreciate it now. And this all made me realise that there are quite a lot of people out there who shared the same interest as me, and that there was a community there, and it felt nice to be kind of involved with that community. Even if my close friends weren't interested in scale modelling and the community is online, it still felt good. So if you don't already, I'd recommend that you do make like a social media account that could be just dedicated to your hobby, and begin posting and sharing, and you'll gradually kind of become part of a community, and I think it's a really nice feeling. Moving on now to university. University was definitely one of the best experiences of my life. In those 3 years, I feel like I developed and grew so much as a person and learned a lot about myself. My experience of university was like totally the opposite of high school. At university, like everyone wants to be their own person, everyone wants to stand out, everyone wants to be a bit different and unique, and everyone I met seemed to have more of an open mind and be more accepting of people's differences. I met people who had never built a scale model before, but they were like, you know what, sounds all right, I'll give it a try. And then I also met some people who had been building scale models for several years as a hobby. Obviously, not everyone that I met was interested in scale modeling, and if they were interested and didn't want to talk about it, I didn't talk to them about it. No stress. And now, part of the reason that I have my new job is because I bonded with my bosses over building scale models. So if I hadn't taken what I saw as a risk back then, all those years ago at the Trafford Centre, by buying that Revell Lancaster bomber, I wouldn't be the person that I am now. So don't stop yourself from doing something that you're excited about just because you're worried about what other people will think, because you never know where it might take you. So that's my story that I wanted to share. If you want to share your experiences, you can do so in the comments, or you can message me on social media. But remember, people, be kind and supportive of people in the comment section. So I hope that this video helps someone in some way. I've kind of felt like I needed to make this for quite a while, so kind of pleased that I've done it now. I hope it goes down well, but leave a like or a dislike to let me know how I did, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next video.